tonight. I'm not one of yours, by the way. My wife Elizabeth one time heard me speaking. She said, Mr. Adams, you must lower your voice. So I have been, but tonight I want to have to raise it. We are here to talk about the Tea Party, the Great Boston Harbor Tea Party, which occurred on December the 16th, 1773. That Tea Party, or the Boston Tea Party as it is now become known, now that we're in 1788. That Tea Party, ladies and gentlemen, was not simply a reaction to arbitrary rule and to tyranny. Rules written simply by the whims of men, regardless of what the Constitution had said, completely, how shall I say, well, disregarded, trampling upon the laws of England. And those laws said, which by the way were founded upon the law of nature, which said that we have unalienable rights. But not only that, those rights are predicated upon eternal, immutable, irrevocable principles, which is what? The right to be self-governing. When I came to this earth, I was born a free man. I was not born a slave. My pilgrim and my brethren from the Puritans, whose heritage I hold dear in my own heart, they came here to flee the institutions, the tyrannical institutions of old Europe. And we must never be made to go back. Because if we do, all of the institutions which we have built with treasure and blood and personal sacrifice will all be to naught. So when the Tea Act of 1773, passed by Parliament, put in place, by the way, the brainchild, if you will, of King George III. And the whole idea was that a particular company whose business was being meddled in by the government, funny how they have a habit of doing such things. Hey, they almost went bankrupt. But they were reporting about 2,000 pounds of tea inside the warehouse in England. Very well. What had happened, the reason the market went down besides the meddling, is that the smoke of tea that was coming here, much by Mr. Hancock, by the way, we were getting tea cheap without taxes. So we were driving an English business out of business, so they bawled. So the king decided, let's do this. We have always been having an issue with the colonists in America who believe that there should not be such thing as taxation without representation. I think taxation with representation is okay. It's better, however. But, so the king devised a plan, a scheme. And when I finish telling you what it was about, you'll understand that the government was lying to the people so they can have their own acts passed in Parliament. Funny how governments like to lie. So they've said to the American people, we will have you take the tea from the East India Tea, from the East India Company, duty free. You don't have to pay tax. You'll pay less for it. Matter of fact, you'll pay less than you paid for the Dutch who are shipping the tea here illegally. And he thought that we would go for that. But what he did not realize is we knew the law. That if we were to succumb to drink one cup of tea, we would be succumbing to the illegal, treacherous laws that said we will accept taxation without representation because the tea was taxed already in England. And they said if we were to drink one cup of tea, Now you're stuck. The moment that you accept any gift from any government is the moment you become their slaves. So we said no. You have a very nice looking patriot here. He looks better in my hat than I do. I wonder if he would look as good as my wig. However, every time we accept something from the government, as I said, you become their slaves. He who has the power to give has the power to abrogate. So we must never ever take anything for free, because it is not free. It will be bought and paid for with the chains that they are founding for you. So we said no. They shipped the tea. We threw it overboard. I want you to understand. That night, December the 16th, 1773, between 6 and 9, the event that happened, the Tea Party, was not conducted by a rabble, a mob, but it was a well thought out plan. 3 divisions of men under 3 captains, each given the rule, I should say the order, to board the 3 ships, moored in Griffin's Wharf. To board the 3 ships, and at one time, to destroy the tea only, and nothing else. Well, how could we do anything else? We believe in private property, so we destroyed the tea. The result? More acts of tyranny. But we had resisted. Now, I can't go, because of time, I can't go into all of the various things that I had planned to say to you. Maybe I shall touch on one. The Stamp Act.
They're freezing.
With the Stamp Act, there were others, the Sugar Act, blah, blah, blah. The Stamp Act of 1765. The government said that here is a paper with the king's stamp on it. And you cannot use any other paper whatsoever except that which is to be procured by the people. By the king's subject. And he said, there will be no birth certificates, there will be no books, no magazines, nothing will be written on any kind of paper whatsoever throughout the colonies unless it had a stamp. Not only were they monopolizing paper, but worse yet, they were going to tell the American people what to buy. You had to buy from the government whether you liked it or not. My cousin John looked over me. He said, "When will this end?" And I said, "Cousin John, sir, it shall end when we put a stop to it." So do you see what was planned next? As John suggested. Well, why don't they simply say the colonies, the very dirt of the colonies belongs to the crown, and he will delve out our land to whom he says he should be willing to give to. Our land, our cattle, our food, and everything else. And one of the patriots said, "Well, what about Dr. Warren?" He who has passed away, was killed. We would not be able to go to Dr. Warren as a physician unless he was appointed by the king. So we could not even see our own physician. No way. I need for you to understand that this night, this beautiful night, November 9th, 1788, our Constitution has been ratified. We are now free Americans, freer than any people, at any time, at any place, at anywhere in the history of mankind. a king for a president. We exchanged a parliament for a Congress. But we did not exchange men for angels. And just because I have the name American after the name means nothing. The Holy Writ tells us the heart of man is evil, above all things, and desperately wicked, and who can know it? It is up to you to keep the liberties that have been bought at a great price. You watch your government. You make them understand that you are their masters and they are not yours. I hope, but I know, God forbid, but I do know, because I know man. We will have another tyrant on this soil sometime soon, or sometime in some later day, some future day. And I hope to high heavens that the people of the United States will have their own Tea Party that he has to contend with. They call you all kinds of names, and although they shall condemn you and call you wicked, you're keeping hostage that which belongs to you. Is that possible? That you will not adhere to those who are your critics, but adhere to the cry of your brethren who are being tyrannized, and you are being the answer that God has placed here divinely, so that you can answer the call and deliver your brethren once again from the tyranny of evil. God bless you all.